Okay, I'm pairing with Olivia on the min mod basically. And then so what we're doing is we're going to try and refactor some of our iteration 3 min mod diagnostic stuff into using mocks and stubs. So do you have did you do the Coca-Cola division or did you have a different one?
I had.
Looks like you had Coca-Cola, I think. Did you have Coca-Cola?
I mean, we just have to name our divisions.
Coke. You're hired by the Coca-Cola. Oh boy, why can I not find this?
Oh, I have it in a message from Mike. I can find it because my internet was really bad that day.
I have it. Okay. I'm gonna post that in the Zoom chat. The recording shows Zoom chat, right? Pretty sure they do. All right, I'm gonna post what Olivia built for the min mod. Okay, so basically it's based around a division, essentially. Each division has a name as well as a way to read that data. Each division can list all of its departments. A division can list all departments of multiple employees. A division can list all employees' names. All right, Olivia. So we've already built this out, basically. And then so we're going to refactor her tests to use mocks and stubs. So Olivia, let me ask you, what should become mocks when we think about our division class? What are the dependencies that the division class relies on? Let me ask you that.
Departments.
Departments is one, sure. And is there another one as well?
Employees.
Employees as well, yeah. It looks like employees is a dependency of department, but employee is something we might want to mock as well. Okay, so we have our 2 candidates for things we might want to mock. As you see in line 10 through 12 on the left-hand side in division, we have a way of adding the department dependency, right? If we remember in the lesson, which I'm also going to post, we need a way to add those dependencies using a method, whether that's initialize or this add department method as we see here. Okay. So test, it can list all departments. Let's start by, well, we don't need to mock anything there, actually. It's fine if we create new departments. It can list departments with multiple employees. Okay. So let's start by creating mocks for our departments. So on lines 27 and 28, instead of having department.new, you would just do mock. Yep.
Do I need to require Mocha?
Oh yeah, you need to require a Mocha / mini test on top. Good call. Nice. Okay, so this is gonna be like part lesson, part pair programming, sorry. If we remember from the lesson, a mock is just a dummy object, right? It's just a dummy object. Okay. Now looking at our multiple employees code implementation on the left-hand side. If department is our mock, what method would we need to stub on department?
The find all?
Actually, find all is a method that's called on an array, right?
Yes.
Departments is an array. So what method calls are there on instances of a department and the multiple employees? Employees. Yeah. So we need to stub the employees method on the department, basically. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Below line 29. Yep. So do you remember how to create a stub? It's okay if you don't.
No, I know it's a
Okay.
symbol and then returns
Yep.
whatever we want it to return.
First of all, it's the instance that we're trying to stub. So in this case, it would be customer service. And then dot stubs. And what's the name of the method we're trying to stub?
Employees.
Employees, yeah. So yeah, the symbol method and then employees. And then returns. So what do we think we should return here?
Just an employee name.
We actually need to
No.
return something that we could call the count method on, right? Because we're calling department.employees.count.
So like an integer of greater than 2.
If we return an integer, it would return us like undefined count method on integer, right? Because we look at line 16, right? We have
Yeah.
department.employees.count. And then so we need to return something that has the count method on it. So maybe we return an array with 2 items on it. So yeah, returns. Yeah, let's make an array, and then it could be anything like Bob. Yeah, Olivia. Okay, and then we would do the same thing for reception as well, but we only want to. I'll let you figure it out. Reception and stub it. And then so what length of array do you think we want for the reception department?
1.
Sure, we can do 1 or we can do 0, right? Either of those is fine. So let's return an array that is either length of 1 or 0. Doesn't matter. Okay. Awesome. Now what's nice about stubbing out employees is now we no longer care about lines 34, 35, 36, 34 through 39, basically. Right? Because customer service and reception are just mocks, right? They're dummy objects. And we're just saying, hey, if employees is called, return an array of a certain size with some strings in them. So let's delete lines 34 through 39.
I think I'm frozen.
You might be frozen.
You're back. You're back. Sorry.
Okay, cool. All right, let's delete lines 34 through 39. Here's one of the benefits of having mocks and stubs is we no longer care about how customer service and reception actually work, right? Because we're just creating mocks, injecting them via the add department method, and then stubbing out the employees method and just returning whatever size array we want. And then so if we run our test, this is the division test.
How many times I spelled division wrong during this? The answer.
It can test all employees' names. That's okay. Yeah, it just looks like it's in a different order. Yeah, but that's a completely different test. But we can see that it can list departments of multiple employees. Test is still passing, right? Okay, so let's delete lines 34 through 39.
Like completely delete them?
Yeah, don't need them.
No.
Cool. Any questions on how we created mocks, which method we needed to stub on those mocks, Olivia, so far?
No. So Not that I can formulate in a nice way right now.
No problem. Uh,
So,
so
okay, maybe did we do employees because that one would be like the one that we wouldn't really know like which one it would return. Like, why did we choose employees?
we chose employees because, okay, so department is a dependency, right? It is the
Mhm.
instance that this division class relies on to figure out how many employees exist for a department, right?
Yeah.
And so since department is the dependency, that is the mock we need to create, basically. So instead of using a real department, we're using a mock department, right? Like a fake one, a dummy object. And then
Okay.
so we knew we needed to stub the employees method because that is the method that is being called on what is now our like dummy objects, right?
Uh-huh.
We need to return some sort of value from that. Otherwise, we're going to get an error on line 16 when we run our test.
Okay.
So you want to stub
Okay.
the methods. Yeah. You want to stub the methods that are being called on that mock object.
Okay. That makes more sense.
For sure. One other thing we can do is line 16, there's a law of demeanor violation.
Mm-hmm.
So we can like refactor the department method and maybe call it department like multiple employees question mark.
Make a new method or
No,
question this.
on line 16, sorry. So instead of calling it department.employees.count is greater than equal to 2, let's call it
Mhm.
department.multiple employees question mark.
Mhm.
Yep. And then, so how do you think we would refactor the test on line 30 and 31, the stub? We're no longer in need to stub employees, but what is the method we would stub?
Multiple
Mm-hmm.
employees.
Multiple employees, sure. Multiple employees question mark.
Okay.
And what is the value we want to return from customer service now? We don't want to return an array anymore, right?
True or false?
Yes, true or false, exactly. Specifically for customer service, what do we want to turn true or false based on our test assertion?
True.
True, yeah,
No.
because true, because we're expecting customer service to have multiple employees, right? And then for
Okay.
reception, we need false. Okay, now let's run our test again. Great, that's awesome. But what would we need to change in the department class to make this work? Like actually make this work if we create new departments.
I would need a method called multiple employees.
Exactly. You need a method called multiple employees. Normally you would create
The
a test for
question.
this. Yeah, but let's not, we won't reveal that for now. And then it's the same implementation you had in the code before. So it's just employees.count greater than equal to 2.
Employees. Yeah.
Yep, perfect. And then so like I said, normally you would write a test for that. But do you see how we refactored both our stub and also the implementation to like get rid of the law demeanor violation there?
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
cool.
Yes.
Sorry, I'll let you ask more questions. Okay.
No, it's hard for me to just like I have to sit on it for a while. I get like multiple employees that we factored it into department because it calls because employees live in the department versus in the division.
mhm.
We're just checking here.
All right.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Um,
You can think about the dependencies as like any methods that aren't defined here that we call, right? Those are the methods we need to stub, basically. Those are the methods we need to stub.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Try to do the test that can list all employees on the right. We're factoring it into using mocks and stubs.
Need to add the department. Is it just employees again?
Mm-hmm.
I would just make an array. No, what does this one come back as?
This one's a little bit
Just an
trickier.
array.
Yeah, an array for sure.
Of names, just of
Uh,
multiple.
well, the problem.
Well,
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
well, it was like the employee object first, and then I had to go and do another map on employee name.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the
So
problem?
we need some sort of on line 25, right? We're calling employee.name. And then so
Yeah.
in this array, we need some sort of thing that has the name method on it. And so what that would be is another mock. And then so let's create a mock above line 42. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We'll just do it and then we'll maybe let it settle for a little bit. So let's just call this Bobby equals mock. Yep. So let's just put Bobby in there. And then for, let's also, yeah, let's do the same thing for the reception as well. Let's just call this one Aaron, I guess. Just a single array is fine. All right. So we also need to stub Bobby and Aaron. We need to stub their name basically, right? Because name is being called on 25. So let's do that before 44 and 45. Yeah.
Its name.
Mm-hmm. Right? Because the name method is being called on line 25, right? On employee. So we need to stub that method. And
It
then,
just returns his name.
yeah, just returns the string Bobby is fine, I think.
Weird.
Same thing for Aaron. All right. And then our expectation needs to change to just Bobby and Aaron on 58.
Yeah, get rid of.
Yeah, you can get rid of that stuff too for sure.
You're not getting a last name. Sorry. Get rid of these.
Yep, we
Did I
don't
get rid
need.
of the higher as well?
Oh yeah, we don't need any of that. All that is gone. Okay, now if we run our tests, it should pass. Ta-da!
Okay. That's
cool.
crazy.
It passes. All right. Let's let it settle for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll try my best to explain it. So, like we said, any method that is in, like, there's a method invocation. So line 25 on name and line 22 on employees, right? Those are methods that we did not create, right? They exist on the
Yeah.
instance of a department and an instance of employee. So that's how we know both that we can create a mock for those instances, right? Our division relies on a department to have employees and an employee to have a name. So that's how we know we create a mock for department and employee. But also how we know what methods we need to stub. We need to stub the employees method. We need to stub the name method. And so what's interesting about this is we know about the employees through the department only.
Yeah.
So we need to do what we did on lines 46 and 47 in the test, right? We have to return those mock employees from the employees method call. And then we also have to mock those employees' names on lines 44 and 45.
I wish you could see my face right now, but that's not. No, I'm not doing that.
I
Mine's
mean,
just blown.
mocks and stubs are, like I said, they are a difficult concept. Like I didn't know how to do these until like a year and a half into my programming career. It just takes a while for the concept to settle. Um, Often we'll find ourselves using a mock and a stub. I mean, we want to do it for when we're unit testing and we have dependencies. In these cases, instances that we rely on, right? That aren't part of this class. But another reason we would use it, it's that same reason, but we rely on different methods where we're unsure what the return value would be, like rand, like we did in class today, right?
Mhm.
How do you test a rand? You can't. You have to like stub it out and like specify the value back. Or we want to mock and stub code from other classes that we rely on. That takes a really long time, right? We want our tests to be able to run quickly. And then so we might want to create a mock and stub for code that exists somewhere else that's going to take a long time to run.
So, like, thinking about Mastermind,
Mm-hmm.
if you want to do one for the computer generated code, like, could we have done something like that
Yep.
for the mock and stub instead
Mm-hmm.
of being generated?
Yep. In the game class, you could have done that, right? You could have just generated the code using the mock and stub and just done like RRRR or whatever array of strings you want it to be.
Yeah. Okay. Helpful. Confused, but helpful.
Yeah, it is confusing. Like uh just know like when to apply mocks and stubs, right? It's when we rely on some dependency or code from another place. In this case, in divisions, like we rely on the department multiple employees code that exists somewhere else. We should mock and stub that. The tricky part of this one is the employee itself, right? Employee has a name method that we rely on, but we get the employees through the department itself. So on lines 46 and 47, the right-hand side, we have to return the mock objects that also have a name method stubbed on them from calling employees.
Yes.
But if you look at 46 and 47, right, it's like that looks very similar to what it would actually return, right? An array of instances. In this case, those instances are just mocks. In this case, those instances are just mocks.
Yes. That makes sense. It does.
I think the test above is a little bit easier to reason about, right? Because we don't have to worry about employees. We just worry about department, how that works essentially.
Yeah. We're just not worrying about their names or any attributes of the employee, just the count if there's more than
Mm-hmm.
two.
Yeah, and we're not even like worried about the count, right? We're just like saying multiple
Yeah.
employees either returns true or false, and then it's up to the department, right? In this case, to figure out how multiple employees is calculated. We don't care actually in the division how multiple employees is calculated. We just want to know if there's multiple employees or not. Department, please tell us if there's multiple employees. And then so we just stub that method out and return true or false so we can have a valid test.
Yep. So it's only testing customer service, right? Because that's what I have. If we did another one for reception, it would, if we did a third equal reception common division one, it would return false. Like it would still work.
Sorry, what's your question? I'm a little bit confused.
The only thing I'm testing in the third equal is the expected, which is customer service.
Yes, it's just customer service, right? Because on line 30, we're returning true, right?
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, a find all code block within the do end, whatever gets returned as true is a thing that will get returned as part of the array. And then so
Okay.
that thing is the customer service mocker creating itself, right?
Yeah. So, okay. That makes sense.
Like I mentioned to another student, this is like 3 out of 10 important for passing mod 1.
Yeah. I
But
think you
you will,
mentioned that to me too.
yeah. Oh, did I?
Probably it was me in our last meeting.
Yeah, but you absolutely will know. You absolutely need to know how to do this eventually. It's like like I said, how modules were like just recognizing the pattern and like they apply behavior to other stuff. That's like way less important. I would say mocks and stubs is like something you need to know how to do in your first like programming job. It will come up at some point for sure.
Oh, okay. Get comfortable with them now, everybody.
Yeah, I mean you'll use them in mod 2 and you'll use them in mod 3 and you'll use them in mod 4, so just a little bit differently.